quite clicked. On the other side of it, Lucas is a guy who a few months ago, about this time last year, was kind of where Gurikiyo is now, where he'd just come into CRL. Pain Gaming was underperforming, and we talked about it a bunch, but that shift from being the head-to-head leader to the 2v2 captain really was a big shift for Pain and helped them get all the way to top 4 at World Finals.
And I think it established a lot of confidence for Lucas there, which is, I think, what Gurikiyo, not to say that he's not confident in his plays, but he just feels like a little bit younger of a player. Lucas, all in 2021, it feels like he's been dialed in. Gurikiyo, as you can tell, when you look at his, I guess we'll call it his player card, or you look at his stat sheet, he's number 20. He's been around forever. He's made it to every single monthly qualifiers, but he hasn't been able to make it onto the final more than one other time. And it's just one of those things where you wonder if he's just still kind of finding himself, finding his footing at the highest level, because that's what it's all about. You can make it, you can get the points, but you want that gold at the end of the road. And that is what we need to see out of Gurikiyo over the next few competitions if he wants to be a world champion.
When you talk about gold, it's been the stacking gold for Lucas as of late with his performances in and outside of CRL. And he's certainly feeling exceptionally confident. Very curious to see how he battles here against Gurikiyo as we go past the first 90 seconds of our opening game.
Yeah, Lucas, another guy who's really just playing for pride and cash today, but obviously would be great to be our 3-time monthly champion. That's quite the high accolade to tote over your other competitors out there in the world, but still, he's down in the elimination bracket, a place he's never been before.
Well, you talk about what Lucas has done this year, and 4 top 10 finishes on ladder. His worst ladder finish of 2021 is 54th. Other than that, all in the top 50. And then, of course, since our 4th month on, he has been either has been in strong contention in that top 32, and he's performing very, very well. It seems like he's hitting his stride at the exact right time of the year.
Yeah, I mean, when you talk about the best in the world, it feels like him and Muhammad Light. And, of course, Ruben, still whispers of Ruben out there in the world of being the best player, the best competitive player in the world. But it does feel like those are the guys whose names are thrown around the most in that competition. Probably could toss Morton in there as well. And now Sandbox after his great performances in 2021.
Ruben's having a great run right now in the Queso Cup in the EMEA region. So we'll see, without the pressure of preparing for CRL this month, how he uses that to get himself in shape and get some research done for our December monthly final, our World Finals, because this is unless there's some sort of emergency balance change, which I don't expect to happen, this is the meta we'll see at World Finals. So a lot of opportunity to do some research.
Yeah, a really great meta unless you're a drill player, because drill has been non-existent in any form of competition as of late. And I believe that Dark Prince connected right there, Rich. 1354.
Yeah, a rough touch there for Lucas, and just hasn't been able to break through into the next level. It is Graveyard, so at any point, especially as we hit triple, this can turn really nasty, but Gurikiyo doing a great job of controlling the bridge fight with those lightnings.
Yeah, and that's exactly the problem that Lucas ran into earlier on today in his first set out, was he was not able to create substantial pushes crossing the river because that lightning has been haunting him since the opening set of the day.
Fisherman cycled behind the Mega Knight, so Fishboy will stay nice and healthy here.
Nice fireball there with an Ewiz behind. Looks like this is a good moment to build quite a push in. Lucas barely having enough now for Graveyard. He's going to decide to hold on to it for the moment. There it is. Comes out maybe tanking for the Brawler here. Brawler meets Brawler.
Yeah, he loses the tanks just a little bit, and I think that you had the right read there. Didn't have enough for Graveyard, played it anyway, and that's the result that we see here.
And this is going to be it. I think that's actually going to just do it for Lucas here, as you get that RG up high damages, and it will get cleaned up off the board, but a lot of units behind there from Gurikiyo here that Lucas has to deal with. He's not really going to be able to get an effective push in, and he's definitely not going to be able to get another Graveyard down.
The spells are such a factor in this matchup, right? You have the Lightning, which so wonderfully removes, just erases so much of Lucas's hand from the board. Whereas Fireball, name me a great Fireball target that Gurikiyo's playing right now, and that's been a huge problem for him.
Lucas finally gets some good damage in here on the other side. That Graveyard comes in, but tons of units down, and while they may not be the best for cleaning up Graveyard, if you play them all in one spot, they'll clean up a Graveyard pretty easily. Lucas down 3 games today with only 1 win so far, and a very surprising too much or at all, honestly, here this weekend.
Very curious to see what Lucas does here in game number 2. And Miner, so it might be Mortar Miner, might be Miner Loon. We'll see. Lumberjack for Gurikiyo.
Yeah, there's been a really great Miner Loon cycle deck out there in the world. We'll see if we see it at all this weekend or today.
So no touches on either side. And Lucas just taking his time here, leaking quite a bit to make his choice about how to respond to this Mother Witch.
Lucas maybe going a little bit heavier, but kind of surprising when you see... And Lucas, there we go. Guards come down really late after the Mother Witch locks onto tower. Doesn't want any more piggies populating the map.
Very interesting. And here comes the Loon with the Baby Dragon behind. Flying Machine will do fine here. And now Lucas setting up for... Does he get lava in front of this? We'll see.
I think he resets. Yep, we're just going to let that go and see if he can get any Flying Machine damage in. Bowler comes down, and this might be a good time for Lucas to get that lava on the board, as this Flying Machine is off in no man's land.
Pretty even on Elixir. Lucas, I don't know if he wants to take shots here, and he won't, so does clean things up, but will be behind 3 Elixir now in this matchup.
And now his opponent going to leak in kind. I think
Same
Lucas
thing,
worried,
doesn't want
though, about going too aggressive, yeah.
Both these guys here playing very, very cautious Clash Royale, Andrew.
I'm a big fan of the guards change also. I've really loved the guards for a long time in the game. They haven't really found a place in the competitive meta. Now they do. I think they comparatively were comparing them to the Dark Goblin now, which is an insane amount of damage when you talk about having 3 of them on the board, or if 3 of them ever pile up around your Princess Tower, can be brutal.
Well, my mini plays old school RG Furnace, and I've switched from the Lumberjack variation to the Guards variation on that mini account. So it's been a pretty big shift. Guards definitely one of the big winners of the recent balance changes for sure.
Skeleton Dragon plus Flying Machine will take that balloon off the board, as that Tombstone is off kind of out nowhere, but we'll keep this bowler distracted for some time. Flying Machine sneaks right into Princess Tower range.
Final 30 seconds of regulation time, and at the moment it is Gurikiyo with the lead on both sides, and finally Lava Hound comes out for Lucas.
Yeah, Mother Witch goes, oh, it stays on the board with just a sliver of HP, but will go down very soon with the Flying Machine there. Inferno right on top of that lava as a Miner goes into the tower.
Yeah, this is tough for Lucas, right? He has no... So for so long, Lava Miner was directly tied at the hip to Zap, but Zap is basically non-existent in the meta, especially in competitive right now, so no great way to reset the Inferno Dragon on that lava, and we saw an attempt there to change something up, but this is going to be very interesting to see how Lucas contends with the Inferno Dragon in this Lava Hound deck.
Yeah, I mean, he's really got nothing to distract that Inferno, nothing to reset it, nothing to take it off of the board, and something I was kind of talking about a little bit earlier was just the Inferno Dragon. When you don't have a great target to take it away, it can be such a nuisance, and as you can see right here, tons of value. Baby Dragon right there to clean up. Mother Witch behind. Doesn't have to worry about the Mother Witch ever getting really taken off the board by a big spell, and Lucas just struggling today with matchup.
The NATO there from Gurikiyo was great. You saw, just as you were talking about a way to distract the Inferno Dragon, you saw the guards get dropped to the right with the Inferno, with the Lava Hound in the middle, and Gurikiyo just completely wiped them off the board, and just like that, Lucas is out. Gurikiyo moves on.
You can see how happy Gurikiyo is. Lucas' camera is no longer in play, and neither is he, as he's going to be walking away with an 8th place